Now to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's warning about President Trump's sweeping tariff policy. His words sparking losses in the stock markets. The Dow falling nearly 700 points. The S&P 500 down more than 2%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ losing more than 3%. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce joins us now. And Mary, it seems Chairman Powell's words were his starkest warning yet.
They certainly were, Lindsay. The Fed Chairman Jerome Powell warning that Trump's tariffs would most likely lead to even higher inflation and slower growth, stressing that the president's tariffs are significantly larger than anticipated and could create a, quote, challenging scenario for the central bank. It comes as the president today met with Japanese negotiators, his first in-person tariff negotiations that we know of. The president tonight saying there was, quote, big progress, but no deals have been made yet with any country. And, of course, the trade war with China is only getting worse. Beijing so far showing no willingness to come to the table. Lindsay.
Mary, thank you. Now to the chilling new images of the high school shooting in Dallas. Surveillance shows the gunman firing at random, injuring at least 4 students. And what police say about how the suspect got a gun into the school undetected. ABC's Maria Villarreal is on the scene again in Dallas.
Chilling new video tonight showing that horrific shooting inside a Dallas high school, sending crowds running.
We got an active shooter, Wilmer Hutchins High School.
You see the suspect walking into the packed hallway at Wilmer Hutchins High School, pulling a gun, opening fire indiscriminately. According to an affidavit, at least 4 students shot. The gunman then appearing to take a point-blank shot at a student who was not able to run, court documents say. The suspected shooter, 17-year-old Tracy Haynes, seen here turning himself into police, now facing a charge of aggravated assault mass shooting.
I heard really loud shots. I see other students running towards the opposite direction.
Officials say the suspect was let into the school through an unsecured door by another student.
We do know that the gun did not come through during regular intake time, so it was not a failure of our staff.
Lindsay, those 4 students that were shot all suffering non-life-threatening injuries, and the suspect is now facing a $600,000 bond. Lindsay?
Maria, thank you. Now to that harrowing flight on board a Frontier Airlines plane from Orlando to San Juan. Passengers looking out the window, frightened by what they saw. The plane making a hard landing, then going around and landing again. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation for us.
Tonight, the terrifying moments before this Frontier Airlines jet finally touched down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Edwin Soto telling us inside the dark cabin, they were praying, calling their families to say goodbye.
It was landing too fast. Out of the sudden, it just slams in the floor. Everybody starts screaming.
The pilot attempting to land, striking the runway so hard, it damaged the plane, sending pieces of the landing gear flying.
They're checking for debris on the runway as we speak.
Going around again, the pilot trying to land on another runway. Passengers gasping, some applauding when they arrived on the ground. Flight attendants urging calm, directing passengers down the stairs onto the runway. Jeffrey Cerda filming from the tarmac. We made it, thank God, he said. And Lindsay, that plane is still on the ground in San Juan, closing the entire airport for a time last night. All 230 people on board are okay. Lindsay.
So much relief about that, Gio. Thank you. Back here now to the Pentagon's sweeping leak investigation. Multiple top aides to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth suspended in just the last 24 hours. And it comes only weeks after Hegseth shared details of the U.S. attack on Yemen in a Signal group chat. Here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
Tonight, the number of high-level Pentagon officials now banned from the building growing. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth refusing questions while again finding himself in a swirl of controversy with 3 top aides at the Pentagon suspected of leaking sensitive national security information. The latest to be escorted out of the Pentagon by security personnel, Colin Carroll, Chief of Staff to the Deputy Defense Secretary. Also put on administrative leave, Darren Selnick, Hegseth's Deputy Chief of Staff, and Dan Caldwell, one of Hegseth's closest advisors, who is in the room with Hegseth when he meets with foreign dignitaries. Selnick and Caldwell both worked with Hegseth long before he took the reins at the Pentagon. was on the Signal chat last month, where Hegseth himself was in hot water for sharing sensitive information on a commercial app about attack plans in Yemen. The leak investigation began in late March after several sensitive national security stories were leaked, including a possible top-secret briefing scheduled for Elon Musk with the Joint Chiefs. Hegseth has said from the beginning he will not tolerate leaks, but it remains unclear whether these dismissals are all rooted in this leak investigation or, according to a source, whether there may be a larger purge going on. Lindsay?
Martha Raddatz for us, thank you. And there are new details tonight. Before us, thank you. Next tonight, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. weighing in on autism after the CDC released a new report showing a rise in the number of children diagnosed with autism. ABC's Steve Osinsami is at the CDC for us tonight.
Health Secretary R.F. Kennedy Jr. tonight is arguing against experts in medicine who say that the increasing number of American children with autism is mostly because parents and doctors are getting better at recognizing the disorder.
Only a very, very small portion of it can be charged to better recognition or better diagnostic criteria.
His comments come after the latest report from the CDC showing that 1 out of every 31 American children is now being diagnosed with autism. In Washington today, Kennedy said that more cases of autism can't be explained by greater awareness, and he disagreed with government scientists who say that right now, autism can't be prevented.
This is a preventable disease. We know it's an environmental exposure. It has to be. Genes do not cause epidemics. They can provide a vulnerability. You need an environmental toxin.
In his many years before Washington, Kennedy has often suggested that this environmental toxin was likely one of the vaccines that Americans give their children, a skeptical view that many in the medical world feel is a dangerous one. The experts believe autism is mostly a genetic disorder and that any environmental cause is not a vaccine.
60 to 90% of autism risk is genetic, but we also think that environmental factors may play a small role.
Kennedy says he will soon announce a series of studies to try to find any possible environmental causes of autism. And when asked by ABC News if he will accept the results, he said yes. Lindsay?
Steve Osinsami for us. Thanks, Steve. When we come back, the massive blackout across Puerto Rico, millions without power. News tonight about the major event known as Fyre Fest 2, what's just been revealed. At a startling scene at a shopping mall, a bear racing through the parking lot, a wildlife officer right on its heels. Tonight, an emergency situation across Puerto Rico, a massive island-wide blackout, more than 3 million people without power. Authorities say every generating facility went offline today. At least one plant is back up and running. Luma Energy says it will take up to 72 hours to have power restored to 90% of the island. The blackout comes as millions of people prepare to celebrate Holy Week. A chaotic scene at a shopping mall in West Hartford, Connecticut. A bear spotted charging through the parking lot at a full sprint. Some shoppers rushing inside. A wildlife officer chasing the bear into the nearby woods. They believe the bear came out of hibernation and was looking for food. When we come back, the new headline tonight about Fyre Fest 2, what's happened now? And for the first time, a colossal squid recorded in its natural habitat. To the Index, organizers now say the event known as Fyre Festival 2 has been postponed indefinitely. The event had been scheduled to take place in Mexico at the end of May, just 6 weeks from now. Ticket holders have been told their money will be refunded. Organizer Billy McFarland was convicted of wire fraud when the original Fyre Festival failed in 2017. For the first time, scientists have video of a colossal squid in the Atlantic off the South Sandwich Islands. Discovered a century ago, these are the first confirmed images of a colossal squid in its own environment. Just a baby, it's less than a foot long. They grow up to be about 23 feet in size. When we come back, Time 100, the most influential people of 2025, from Demi Moore to Serena Williams to someone else you'll likely recognize.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
During its first year, a humpback calf and its mother are almost inseparable. She lifts her calf to its first breath of air and then protects it on their long journey. One of the most most important things you can do is help the next generation. Protect the ones you love with Pacific Life's trusted financial solutions. Talk to a financial professional about life insurance and retirement income with Pacific Life.
Finally, Time 100, the most influential people of 2025, including a very familiar face. Tonight, Time revealing their 100 most influential people of 2025. The honorees, leaders in the worlds of business and philanthropy, science and research, actresses, singers, and songwriters. And one person we're particularly proud of, our own David Muir making the list. Time calling him one of the icons. And Diane Sawyer writing a tribute for David in Time, saying in part, like Peter Jennings before him, David is authoritative and dynamic, the first out the door to the story. Iraq's hunt for ISIS, hurricanes, fires. He traveled days to hold the hands of starving children in Madagascar and South Sudan, leading to millions of dollars in donations to the World Food Program. Diane going on to write, I think I know what destiny looks like because I've seen a photo of a serious 13-year-old boy talking his way into an internship at the local TV station. Now he's the anchor chosen for interviews by popes and presidents. He shows up calm, respectful, and fearless. I'm lucky that my successor is also the irreverent friend I want to hang out with when the camera shuts down. Tonight, the Time 100, the rare honor, and our congratulations to David for making the list. Well deserved. Time 100, the world's most influential people, airs May 4th here on ABC. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. Good night.